As everybody know, I'm a real history, American history, sports history, and black history because of golf. So these next few weeks gonna be dedicated to golf. But the college and the government say 100 years from now, I'm gonna be famous, and there's certain things the world would like to know. So these episodes will be in the beginning of how I come about going on every job, and I go in order. Uh, Lots of golf courses got the same name all over the United States, all over the world. So me saying the name don't mean nothing because the only one will be able to pinpoint it is the federal government, historians, and researchers by matching up my income tax and payroll to the places, so they would know. So if they write about it, they're gonna put the names and everything. But this place here is the first job I ever had, and this is how it started. Uh, we were in our last class, which is called golf course seminars. When you in the class, you done made it. You know you're gonna graduate. And a guy named Pete Dye was giving a presentation. He one of the greatest golf course architects on the planet. And during breaks and at the end of the seminar, he was talking to me, and he said he would like me to work with him because unfortunately he don't know why my father had me to go to school for this or let me go to school for this. He said, you never gonna be accepted. He said, your father ain't even accepted. He just got a position. But your father is not who you think he is. And wherever he at, you need to get 100 to 300,000 miles away from him. Don't go nowhere near him within 100 miles. Because he don't have your best interest in mind, right? I ain't know what he was talking about. I'm like, man, why everybody hate my dad? Why everybody jealous of my daddy? Because he black and blah, 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 blah. That's what I'm thinking in my head. So, you say he can give me an architect job. He'll start me with 50. And after 1 year, I make 100,000. I can live with him and his wife for a year, rent free. Rent free. And I think he said a guest house or he just say, that's what I was thinking, and I was gonna take that off. Cause like you say, I'd be behind the scenes. Nobody would see me. Nobody would care. Because I'm behind the scene designing golf courses. And after 1 year, I'm gonna make $100,000 and I'm gonna get a percent on every golf course I design. And he said the average architect design like 3 to 6 a year. The something around that area. So I'm looking at I'm gonna be a millionaire just out the percent I design, right? So I'm thinking heavily about this job, and then the impossible happened. But this job would have been the biggest job in that college history for somebody to ever get right out of college. I would have been an icon, right along with Bobby Weed, Scott Bell, all them guys. I would have been an icon right along with them. But something remarkable happened next. Walt McMahon was the next speaker. We all loved it, Walt McMahon. He represented the college well. And he told me afterwards the same exact thing. He said, whatever you do, get far away you can from your father. Because he don't have your best interest in mind, and he is not one of us. He say, I'm going to try to start you with 50 as my assistant. And then after that, you take over because I got an all black crew who I love. And I want them to be taken care of when I leave. I don't want some white guy coming in there firing everybody. He said, you my only hope of them having a good outcome in future. So I had something to think about, right? Now we graduated, I go home. My dad said, you got any job offer? I said, yeah, I got 2 great job offers with Pete Dye and Walt McMahon. I explained them to him about the job, and he said, well, them all good. But I got such a much, much better. So why don't you call them guys, or just don't call them a child? Because I got something good for you, son. Real good. You're going to love it, right? I said, well, what it is? He said, it's a surprise, son. It's a surprise. Just get some rest for a couple of weeks and tell me you'll go check it out, right? So 3 weeks passed. I'm getting my rest. Remember, I was a slave in college, so yeah, I needed some rest. It was relaxing, not worrying about nobody knocking on my door to go fight. It was relaxing of not seeing Wolfman Jack standing across from me look like he wanted to tear me apart. It was relaxed knowing I can eat in peace. I can leave my house in peace. I can hang out with my friends in peace without worrying about 100 people coming around saying, fight, 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 fight. So I was like, so I said 3 weeks, right? My dad said, let's go check out the job, right? Why did this man pull into Indian Hills Country Club, where I did my summer OJT, which was one of the races, poets, dumps, what they call a cow patcher, but supposed to be in the golf course. Why he pulled up in there, right? I couldn't believe it. And I told him, what going on? Yeah, they got plans for you, son. They got plans for you. I say, Indian Hills? What kind of damn plans they got for me? Right? We go inside, have a little dinner with Prosecutor Manchester and, the president and vice president who they was. And they say, yeah, we're going to get rid of Joe and blah, blah, blah. And then you're going to be the superintendent. And we got a great future for you. Blah, 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 right? So now I ain't got no joy. I done lost contact of Walt McMahon and Pete Dye. I done lost the contacts. It wasn't cell phone back then. Hell, I didn't even know the number to the college. What I just left, right? So I took the job. Starting pay was $9 and something. And I told my dad, I said, hey man, how you gonna have me turn down $50,000 and $100,000 jobs for $9? Well, she just to be chinny, John. It's just to be chinny, John. She $9 is a lot of money. For a young man like you. I said, no, man, something ain't goddamn right. Well, the bottom line was, I found out after I got fired, right? The word was in the golf world, and I was told by several superintendents, your daddy sought you up to fail. They talking about it all over Florida. They trying to figure out why did he set you up to fail. But it backfired. You turned out to be the best superintendent on the Treasure Coast. That way it backfired in their faces. But if you want, son, we'll help you get a lawyer. Talk to your daddy about getting a lawyer, right? I talked to my daddy. He said, well, son, just let you slide. Just let you slide, son. Because you destined for greatness. And that bothered me to this day. Because I realized everything them guys said was true, and I found out the hard way. Thank you, and God bless. And that's how I got my first job. Thank you.